The sound of gunfire split the afternoon air like lightning through a quiet sky. In a flash of instinct, Ryan Cole threw himself forward, shielding a terrified little boy behind him. A single, sharp crack echoed and then silence. The bullet tore through his shoulder, burning hot, but he didn't move until the child was safe behind the marble fountain. The chaos around him blurred the screams, the panic, the distant sirens, but all Ryan could think was, please, God, let the kid live. If you believe in kindness, courage, and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal. Because stories like this one remind us that even in a cold world, there are still hearts that choose to protect others. Ryan had never imagined his life would lead him to this moment. 3 years ago, he was an ordinary man, an auto mechanic from a quiet street, raising his 6-year-old daughter Ellie on his own. Life had not been gentle with him. His wife, Marissa, had passed away after a long illness, leaving behind medical bills and memories too heavy to carry. Every day since, Ryan had juggled work, bills, and fatherhood with a quiet strength. His hands were rough from engines, his eyes weary from late nights, but his love for his daughter gave him reason to keep going. On that particular day, the sun was high and Ryan had taken Ellie to the city park after work. It was one of the few breaks he allowed himself, a small patch of joy in a life that had known too much loss. Ellie, with her golden pigtails and paint-stained fingers, had been chasing bubbles across the grass. Nearby, another child about her age, dressed in expensive clothes and holding a toy drone, was laughing with his bodyguard. Ryan had noticed them, thinking how different their worlds were. But fate, that strange hand that ties lives together, was already moving its pieces. When the gunman appeared, no one expected it. A desperate man, cornered by police after a robbery gone wrong, ran into the park. Waving a gun and shouting for a car. Parents screamed, children cried, and chaos rippled through the crowd. The boy with the drone froze, rooted in place, as the gunman's eyes locked onto him. The bodyguard lunged too late. And that's when Ryan moved without thinking, without hesitation, like a father who saw his own child in danger. He sprinted forward, grabbed the boy, and pushed him to the ground behind the stone fountain just as the gunman fired. Pain exploded through Ryan's arm. The world tilted. He heard Ellie screaming his name somewhere behind him. Then the sirens grew louder and officers swarmed the park. The gunman was caught, but Ryan's world was already dimming. The last thing he remembered was the little boy's trembling voice whispering, "You saved me," when he woke. Up in the hospital, his shoulder bandaged, his head pounding, Ellie was there, her small hand clutching his. The doctor said the bullet had missed any vital organs. "You're lucky," the nurse told him. Ryan smiled faintly. "No," he whispered, "the kid's lucky." He had no idea who the boy was until the next morning when the news broke. CEO's son saved by unknown hero. The photos showed the boy, Oliver Hale, son of business magnate Vincent Hale, a billionaire known for his cold demeanor and ruthless empire. Reporters flooded the hospital, but Ryan refused interviews. He didn't want fame or money, just to go home to Ellie and return to their simple life. 2 days later, when he finally did, he was shocked to find 6 black SUVs lined up outside his small house. Neighbors peeked through their curtains as men in suits stood by the gates. Ryan froze, holding Ellie's hand tightly. From the middle SUV stepped Vincent Hale himself, tall, composed, and intimidating in his tailored suit. Beside him was Oliver, clutching a small stuffed bear and hiding behind his father's leg. "Mr. Cole," Vincent said, his deep voice breaking the silence. "I owe you my son's life." Ryan shifted uncomfortably. "You don't owe me anything. I just did what anyone would have done." Vincent looked at him for a long moment. "No," he said quietly. "Not everyone would take a bullet for a stranger." He turned to his assistant. "Transfer him the amount." Ryan frowned. "That's not necessary." Vincent's assistant stepped forward with a check, an obscene amount that made Ryan's stomach turn. "I said I don't want it," Ryan repeated, firmer this time. "I didn't save your boy for money." Vincent studied him again, as if trying to understand the kind of man who would refuse a fortune. Then he nodded slowly. "At least let me do something," he said. "You'll hear from me soon." Days passed. Ryan returned to the garage, his arms still sore, his bills still piling up. Life went on as before, or so he thought. But one afternoon, when he went to pick up Ellie from school, he noticed a sleek black car parked across the street. Inside sat Oliver, grinning through the window. The moment Ellie saw him, she waved excitedly. It turned out the two had become friends at the park before everything happened. Vincent stepped out of the car, his expression softer this time. "I wanted to thank you again," he said. "And I wanted Oliver to see his hero." Ryan smiled awkwardly. "I'm no hero. Just a dad." Vincent's gaze fell on Ellie, her worn shoes and second-hand backpack. He didn't say anything, but Ryan saw something change in his eyes, a flicker of realization, maybe even guilt. "Would you consider coming by the company?" Vincent asked suddenly. "We could use someone like you in our security department." Ryan hesitated. He didn't have a degree. He'd been a mechanic all his life. "I don't think I'm qualified," he murmured. Vincent smiled faintly. "You took a bullet for a child, Mr. Cole. That's qualification enough." And just like that, Ryan's life began to shift. Within weeks, he started working at Hale Industries as a security consultant, a stable job with health insurance, better pay, and a future for Ellie. The men, suits who once scared him now nodded respectfully when he passed. He worked quietly, always humble, always grateful. Vincent Hale, for his part, seemed changed by Ryan's presence. The CEO, known for his icy composure, began showing up at school events, donating to local charities, and spending more time with Oliver. But it wasn't just Vincent who was changed. Ryan, too, began to heal.